And it's Wednesday. You know what time it is. It is time for the Greg Cherry Show alongside the WTC Jack of all trades champion, Jeff Meacham. It is, of course, Big Baller G as well. The freshly married Big Baller G.
Yeah, baby.
I add. Check out the ring.
Good. Love it. Love it.
We're both in the club there. I am, of course, the longest reigning WTC champion, Greg Cherry. The belt is back up, in case you didn't notice. I always have the microphone in the way. I might move the microphone on the other side, but it didn't seem to work that time. But I do want to throw that up there because, of course, that's always an option. But we got a lot to talk about today on today's show, and we're going to get right into that. On today's show, of course, we're going to be talking about the NFL and what a crazy and insane opening week of football we had. I'll also bring up a little bit of college ball because, my God, it loves to give me heart attacks. Thoughts on last night's NXT 2.0, which debuted. So we'll cover that briefly. We got the weird state laws again from Arizona. And, of course, the Wednesday Q&A. So we are going to be talking about some NFL football. Gentlemen, we both know how this week went for all three of us. Jeff, I'm going to say this, since you guys had the opening game. You guys kind of got screwed. You got screwed on that last drive of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we did.
Because there was blatant offensive pass interference that was not called. Pass interference is no longer a reviewable penalty, which based on the way they officiated, they were kind of like, we're not changing what we think anyway, unless it goes against Pittsburgh. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So basically the whole review of pass interference that one season they did it was a complete waste of time.
Pretty much.
And it didn't solve anything from the problems that they had before, and it apparently still hasn't. So, I mean, what do you guys expect us to do if you're not going to call things that are blatantly right in front of you? You see a receiver push off and you don't throw the flag and you cost the team a game. I mean, Dallas did very well. I will say that. They did very well. They got 4 turnovers from Tampa Bay. They had a chance. Man, I'll tell you that. They had a chance, but unfortunately, Tampa Bay pulled it out in the very end.
Yeah, my dad very rarely gets wound up like he did the other night because, we all know how awesome Brady is. There's no denying the greatness of Tom Brady, regardless of the cheating thing or whatever. He's still Tom Brady. And Dak and the Cowboys showed he is beatable. So yeah, I'm all about it.
And mind you, this is also a Dallas defense last year that was constantly maligned by yours truly, probably by Jeff as well, if we're going to be honest.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, we had a subtopic called the NFC East sucks every week on the show, so
right.
We so did. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Sure as shit, Greg. One East team wins this week, and it has to be the Eagles.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, the NFC North is completely winless.
Yep.
All of them lost.
Yeah.
The Packers lost,
the
Bears lost, the Vikings lost. They all lost. Is the NFC North going to be the proverbial GOAT? Not greatest of all time, but the laughing stock of the league this year. It's only week 1.
Yeah.
It's only week 1, so it's too early
to start. Week 1 was bonkers.
It absolutely was.
I mean, Greg, put it this way. You and Mikey, Statboy had, you went up against him in the predictions challenge, and, it came close. But the fact that you lost to him in week 1 speaks volumes of how bonkers that week was. I mean, it was just bananas, like I said, just absolutely crazy. So,
yeah.
Oh, and the fact that, his week 2 challenger is going to be JJ, who doesn't watch football.
Yeah.
If Mikey loses this week and didn't lose to you last week, the whole season's just going to be for the next 15 weeks.
Pretty much.
Be going nuts.
Yeah, I'm just glad I was right with my Steelers pick. I mean, the Bills were damn near a touchdown favorite over the Steelers, and I just I couldn't buy that, especially with TJ Watt, getting signed, making his money, and apparently going out there and earning it. If you saw him play on Sunday, he did absolutely fantastic. And that was a defense without Stephon Tuitt.
Yep.
Right? That's terrifying because Stephon Tuitt, my Irish boy, has always been solid. I love Stephon Tuitt. So once he gets back in there, it's going to be gangbusters for that defense. And they honestly, again, it's only week 1. That might be a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't watch the first half, obviously, and I know
which is honestly, dude, probably for your mental health, it's a good thing you
know as Steeler fans, Greg, that the first half is like we're completely oblivious, and then second half for some reason Tomlin goes in there. All right, we're gonna switch this up, and then like something switches, and Najee Harris played every single snap in that game. Did he do okay in his first official game? Yeah. It's not college ball, but everybody looked decent. That touchdown by Deontay was pretty nice.
Yes.
That blocked field goal or block punt was nice, turned into a touchdown. I was like, specialty. Like Ben said, it was a team win. All sides did what they were supposed to do, and to see that everybody, I think it was from CBS, like you mentioned, every person had picked the Bills favorite to win.
It wasn't just CBS. It was like every sports reporter out there was picking the Bills over the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then here comes the Steelers defense shutting down Josh Allen, who put like 30 some points on them last year in a blowout.
Yep.
There has to be something to be said for that because Josh Allen was
and
I don't want to say a big favorite for like MVP conversation because he had a spectacular season, but he might have been a candidate. This will hurt his case a little bit.
And I just saw earlier a couple minutes ago, Ben Roethlisberger just passed Dan Marino for most game-winning drives or something like that. He topped him. So, I mean, Ben's on. Ben's 38 years old. Is he Tom Brady? No. He's had the injuries. He's had the motorcycle accident, but I've always said this. I'm going to say this every year. Ben, I feel people just completely shut Ben out because he's very, very, very underrated. Yeah. Very underrated.
And I understand, like, a lot of people are down on Ben, especially freaking Colin Cowherd, who his last name is apropos. He has to have a vendetta against.
He must have
spun that narrative to like, oh, Ben was the worst quarterback in week 1. Yeah, you know what? 16 quarterbacks lost on Sunday, and Ben was not one of them.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great game. No. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, for all accounts, did not have a great game. That's fine. I understand that. But he was still able to lead his team to win. That's the only stat that matters. Like, you can have your 100-yard, passing or whatever. And also, you want to talk about bad week 1 performances? Hello, Aaron freaking Rodgers.
You know what? I was talking to my coworkers about this. I swear to God, he threw that game. He had to throw that game. Yeah.
Well, he did a good job losing by 35.
I feel like he threw that game. Like, that was like the worst.
I'll let Jeff.
I saw that. That was like one of the worst passer ratings that he's ever had.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah. I theorized that, did Danica not put out last week? Like, what the hell, Aaron? Like, geez, what the hell? Why is this not a thing? And also, by the way, in the chat room, if Rodgers leaves Green Bay, man, that'd be a great pickup for Dallas. No, it wouldn't. Are you kidding me? Rodgers is not where he was. Rodgers is not that guy. Dak is the guy, man. If Dak stays healthy for 17 weeks, we go in places. Screw that crap. Not to shut you down, Chris, but man, I don't want anything to do with Aaron Rodgers right now. Nothing. No.
Yeah.
No. But yeah,
what a game for the Raiders and the Ravens on Monday night. That overtime.
I'll tell you what, that was I think that just summed up how week 1 went for everybody. The craziness of that game, and it ends up being Lamar Jackson costing his team the game by fumbling at the end, and then the Raiders capitalizing.
And we're favored to beat the Raiders next week.
I'm right with that.
That's a little scary though, because like I feel like, I mean, Buffalo's not exactly an easy team. It's not like the Bills of like mid 2000s or whatever.
I remember seeing some on Facebook, NFL posted or CBS or all of them. We, I believe, are in one of the 2 top teams that have the toughest schedule this year.
Of course we are. And we always seem to have the toughest schedule. It's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame in college, they stack their schedule. Granted, they're back to being an independent again as opposed to being in the ACC, but they face like 5 or 6 ACC teams a year. So they always stack their schedule because they know, we can't just coast on being Notre Dame. We have to have a tough schedule. And after their last couple of weeks, I'll tell you what, I'll get into that in a minute because that needs its own special time. But yeah, the Steelers having a tough schedule it seems par for the course. And do we really want it any other way? Do we want a cakewalk schedule? Do we want it? Because like a cakewalk schedule doesn't prove anything. Like we could face like 0-15 teams and probably bring it close and win by only 3 points because that's just what the Steelers do. We don't dominate games by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Maybe like one blowout in a long string of games, but my gosh, they always have to keep it close. It drives me insane. But yeah, we wouldn't want it any other way because how are you going to prove that you can be amongst the elite, the elite of the NFL if you're going to, hey, there's wrestling in here too. I'm going to weave it all in.
I know.
How are you going to prove that you're amongst the elite teams in the NFL if you don't face the elite teams in the NFL and beat them? Like it's one thing to face them, but if you get your ass kicked every time, then what does it prove?
Right.
I, for one, would like to see a Steelers-Tampa Bay Super Bowl just so Ben can finally get a playoff win against Brady. That's all I want.
Right.
That's all I want. Like it's so incredibly maddening. I'm sure it is for you too, Big G. Yeah. That Steelers make the playoffs, face Brady, and get knocked out. I was
Ben's first year. Ben's first year. Yep. Oh. We ended up being 15-1, and we lose to Brady in the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
I think that's still, and then we haven't beat the Patriots since then. I don't remember beating the Patriots.
Well, we've beaten the Patriots since. Like we've won regular season games against them, but we've never beat them in the playoffs. At least as long as Brady was there.
Yeah. I think Ben has that's in the back of his head. He's like, I started off my career against Tom Brady. If he does, end his career after this season, then why not end it on a high note and saying, look, I beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
18 years later, here we are.
I mean, that would be a good
quarterbacks in the NFL still.
Yeah. I think, and that would make him a 3-time champion, which is not something a lot of quarterbacks can say.
No, Brady can say. Okay.
Well, Brady can say it twice over at least.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
But it's a very few. He's in a very exclusive club as it is, winning 2.
Yeah.
Because there are some quarterbacks who only win 1. There are some quarterbacks who never even see the Super Bowl. Looking at you, Cleveland, and it's
wow.
Which Cleveland, I don't know what the hell happened to the Browns because they were whooping on the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they blew that game at the end. Like you talk about it's almost like the Cleveland of old is still lingering there. And it's almost like a curse to them that they can't get out of their own way. They had that game in control for 3.5 quarters, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
It's either Mahomes being Mahomes or the Browns being the Browns or some combination.
Has to be.
That was crazy. And Warhawk Rambo saying we have a tough division. We always have a tough division. AFC North is by far, and perhaps we're a little biased, AFC North is always a ridiculously competitive division. It always is. No matter what the records are, it is always incredibly tough football.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, they all give us tough games every single time.
Yep. And I'm putting this on record. I do not want the Steelers go undefeated again this year. I do not need that pressure on me. I do not need that pressure.
Well, they start out 1-0, which is fine to start out. But if they go 11-12, and I really think that season turned around because of the Ravens, because of the injury to Bud Dupree, because the Ravens pissed around with the schedule because they couldn't follow their own protocols, and they got zero punishment out of that.
Yep.
That I know of.
Yep.
And it ended up screwing the Steelers. It's like, okay, cool.
That what you're right. That was the turnaround right there.
Because they were fine up until that point.
Yeah. And then they kept on moving the game back, and then back again, and then back again. And then we had a short week, and then we had to play them that same week. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, it was absurd. It should have never happened. I mean, it was bad enough that the Titans screwed up our bye week because they couldn't follow protocols.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like the Steelers nearly got screwed twice. We escaped that game against Tennessee. Let's be honest.
He missed that field goal. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, we're glad he shanked it. But, oh, my gosh. It was just so incredibly maddening. We're so frustrated about our teams, and they're undefeated. like we want to know. Notre Dame's 2-0.
For 20 minutes. I talked for 5. So
yeah. Notre Dame's 2-0, and I swear to God, they want to give me a coronary.
Yeah,
Isn't that every year with Notre Dame and the Steelers? It's like every single year.
Worse this year somehow. Like it is worse.
Yeah.
Like we nearly lost to Toledo. Who loses to Toledo?
Oh my God.
Nobody loses to Toledo. Like what the hell is going on?
That's bananas.
We won the game in the last 90 seconds. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
Kidding me? Took the ball over like 3 times. Committed a bunch of penalties. It's like Brian Kelly, like you won a national championship program. What the hell is this? Like wins are one thing, but they're ugly as wins, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
very frustrating.
Like I've never been so frustrated with an undefeated team. Like I don't know how they do it, but they make me mad at them all the time. It's like, oh, you didn't win by enough. You didn't do this right. You didn't do this right. Oh my gosh! Like my dad was up.
It is the nature of the beast, Greg. You know, you have such a passion for whatever team you root for. Win or lose, you're going to pick them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, unless it's a blowout win, if they win by like 30 some points, it won't be as bad, I don't think, because it's like, okay, you did well. Like I don't have complaints. But when you give up nearly 30 points to Toledo at home.
Oh, wow. No. That's horrible.
Like, somewhere Regis is going there. I can't show. It's crazy.
Regis is spinning in his grave.
Second here. Right.
What's up?
Just a quick. The Jack of All Trades show next week is live at 5 p.m. Eastern.
No, it's 9 p.m. Eastern because remember our conversation? Okay. Yeah. No, so I might as well bring this up. I might as well bring this up because I do have the graphic. Programming note.
I put one together with the time, but I had the time wrong. That's why I checked with you. So, okay, very good. Yeah. Carry on.
So programming note for everybody watching, because I know some of you watch the Jack of All Trades show, the wrestling game show. Jack of All Trades, that's the lineup. You got JB3, you got Brandon Rutledge, you got Adam Pearson, who is an absolutely amazing human being, and you have the champion, Jeff Meacham. We are going live at 9 p.m. Eastern next Thursday. I stress how good of a person Adam is. It's going to be 2 a.m. his time when we start that show.
Yes.
So
2 BS, baby.
Yeah. So my goodness, the dedication that man has, you have to be impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
what's scary is if we're going live at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is, like I said, it's 6 o'clock for me. Aaron's like, can you do the review next week? I'm like, no. Yeah. I've got an interview at 7 and the challenge at 9. No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to squeeze your review ain't going an hour with me on it. That ain't happening.
No, it's not. I mean, we've known that from the past, having both or all three of us been on the review. Yeah, that doesn't stay under an hour, especially once we get talking.
Right.
So I also wanted to bring something else.
I was going to say the fact that we've bitched about our teams, even though they did pretty well for 25 minutes, shows how long we can talk about absolutely nothing and just go off the rails. So
yeah, I do want to bring something up because I'm sure there are some viewers who aren't familiar with this. If you're a constant viewer, you know about this, but I'm bringing this up. I don't have a donation yet, but I do want to bring this up so people do see.
Truth or Dare.
There you go. Yeah. So I added a new space to the wheel, and it's called Truth or Dare, which is pretty self-explanatory. So they can do that for one of us. They can do that for all of us. So if it lands on that, you guys get to ask as personal a question as you want, and we have to answer it honestly.
I don't want to be on the show at that point of this in that segment. I'm kind of good.
But yes, it's a $5 donation, as you see. If you want to donate $100, if you so choose to get a future shot at the WTC title, feel free to do so. Somebody asked about that weeks ago, and then it never happened. I was really looking forward to that, and then it just never happened. But yeah, $100 right away to challenge. Big G, you're the big baller. I was waiting for $100 just to see if you'd take up the challenge one more time.
Maybe.
I just dropped $6,000 in Florida, man. Give him.
He's big baller G. It's his gimmick.
Christ Almighty. He dropped $6,000 at Disney on purpose, dude. Let him breathe for a week.
I spent $234 building my own lightsaber.
I mean, that's kind of cool. So,
hey, and by the way, while we're on the topic of the Disney spending, I have to throw a little love on Big G because very few people actually pay attention to me because I ramble for hours on end now, it seems. But Big G remembered my original Disney love before Mickey the Mouse got up here in the brain and took over my Disney life and made me a damn corporate shill for the Mouse Mafia. There was Pinocchio. And I got a package in the mail today, and it was a storybook journal based on the book you see at the beginning of Pinocchio with Jiminy Cricket doing I'm not going to sing like Clarence because I'll get thrown off the air. But it opens up to this and then opens up to the same scene that Jiminy opens up to that starts the movie. And I just have to thank you, G. Like I said, people don't listen to me very much because I tend to kind of go on and on. But the fact that you remember Pinocchio was my favorite was it means so much to me. And I really appreciate that. And the fact that, these aren't cheap. I know they're not cheap. No. So I really appreciate that very much. I will definitely use this journal wherever I go.
Not
because, a problem. And the fact that I'm probably going to bring it with me and doodle in it on my way to Disneyland in just over 2 months. I'm so happy. The countdown's on my freaking link tree, dude. 64 days and counting. I cannot stress that enough how freaking long these 64 days are going to take.
And I know you're a big fan of pins too, so I got you that lovely Halloween pin.
Yes, which I greatly appreciate that. That was awesome of you. Thank you, sir. I don't know where that went, but yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
So
it's probably in the box still. So.
Probably.
So Brett's saying I will at some point use the $100 donation for a shot at the title, but I'll wait it out a little bit. It's probably in your best interest to wait it out a little bit because Brett is one of the names in the tournament that's coming up.
Yes.
I am trying to get more people involved. I did confirm a couple people today. So we will see on that. Denise Salcedo was unfortunately a no because she's booked up for the rest of the year. I did try.
That's because she's
to
get Denise 5 shows a day.
I apparently have to book Denise like 6 months out.
6 years. Yeah.
Something like that. She's a busy woman. Much
I love
deserved.
her, man. Somebody emailed her and called her like evil for whatever, and she's like little evil. She just like what? She rolls with it.
She rolls with the punches. She's awesome.
Her, man. She's great.
So speaking of all that,
while you're looking that up, I'm going to address this. He's saying, "Hey, Greg, you good at all trivia or just wrestling trivia?" Just wrestling trivia. My general knowledge trivia is very
vague,
very hit or miss. Let's just say that. Wrestling for some reason just sticks in here and it doesn't leave.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I can sit there and watch Jeopardy and be that guy during the show with Dad, but when I get like regular trivia in front of me, as on a live format, I'm just blah, 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 blah. It's a mess. But wrestling trivia on it. Pretty much.
All right. We are going to go into our next segment. We're going to talk. We're going to briefly touch on NXT. Guys, what did you think of NXT 2.0? I mean, we saw the rebrand. We saw the colors change. We saw a new champion. We saw a wrestling wedding that went off without a hitch. Like, I mean, has that been done in wrestling before? Like the last wrestling wedding I can remember that went off without a hitch during the wedding segment was Savage and Elizabeth in '91.
Yeah. We were talking about it that Monday night. The last night, it was like, yeah, that's the first wrestling wedding in 30 years that actually ended up with a happy ending and the show went off the air. Everything was okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good show overall. I watched it today. The one thing that I don't like, and Jeff's wearing sunglasses right now, it is very, very bright in there. It doesn't have that darkness about it. It's more. It's not really NXT-esque anymore. It's more WWE-esque.
Which I think is kind of the point. When
bright colors, and I was fine with Rex Steiner, and now he's Braun Breaker. Like, are we gonna get like a 33 and a third chance of some kind of promo in the next couple?
Well, no,
I know he's the nephew of Scott Steiner, but like seriously, are we gonna get some promo like? Anyway, go ahead.
The thing is, G, I think they changed his name before they actually put him, on TV. I'm pretty sure Scotty owns the Steiner last name because their actual last name is, of course, Rex Steiner. So I'm pretty sure Scotty owns that trademark to the Steiner part. So God forbid they get involved with Big Papa Pump on purpose. So they just screw it. Let's just not even worry about it.
So Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, it's very stupid. I mean, Baker's a hot name right now, especially for you kids up in Pittsburgh. So, I get it. But, it's spelled differently. It's spelled with 2 Ks because God forbid we be the exact same as AEW.
Well, it's not Baker. It's Breaker.
Breaker.
Breaker. Yeah. So it's the whole thing is just weird. But I
think they just add extra letter. Like, they basically play Wheel of Fortune and just misspell everything for their names so they can trademark it. It's like nobody in the world has ever spelled Breaker with 2 Ks.
Or Braun that way.
Well, in defense of that Braun, it's the first half of his name. So his name is Bronson. So that
Bronson,
that I forgive. Like that's okay. Yeah. The Breaker thing, not so much. But.
Yeah,
I'm gonna break you.
It's like we all know who he is. He freaking wore the Steiner outfit the other night. It's like, come on, it's obvious who he is, who the family is. He's first of all, settle up with freaking Scott. Get over your damn self. You've got money. Bullshit. Don't tell me you don't. And just deal with it. So it's just so bogus.
We have the sirens and everything too. Oh my god.
Yeah, the other 2 things I had a problem with, again, the color scheme. I said it on, I think, Twitter the other night. Very 1995 WWF. And other than the ladder match at SummerSlam, we know how that year went. It was just a hot mess the whole year. And the fact that LA Knight did not get the WrestleMania 10 ending, that pissed me off. He loses in the opening match, and then he takes not only does he lose the title match, he takes the fall.
Yeah.
It's like, who which of the three dipshits booked that? Like, I mean, I'm trying very hard not to hammer on Vince and Bruce anymore because that's the hip thing to do. Everybody does that, right? But that booking was hot garbage.
Yeah.
Not only do you have your signature star talent right now, who's been a hot hand for a while, lose in the opening match of a show that he was going to contend for the title, then he takes the fall in the title match, where you have, again, you're trying to build new stars. So you don't have the new kid take the fall, obviously. Ciampa's going to win. He doesn't take the fall. Okay, well, Pete Dunne just re-signed, so we're going to smooch his ass for re-signing. So you have Shawn take the fall? That's bullshit.
Yeah. That was crazy. I mean, it was a good match, but I think what's his name? Is it Von Wagner?
Von Wagner.
Yeah, Von Wagner's the name on air. Yeah,
Von Wagner. He looked good. He's big.
Yeah, Greg, just so you're aware, I don't know if you're seeing the studio. For some reason, we're not broadcasting to your Twitter feed, so I don't know what's going on there. But anyway.
That's fine. I'd rather him be on the YouTube anyway.
Right, of course. For real. Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. Just we'll have to fix that later when we go back into the studio again.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay.
Yes.
But yeah, NXT, like I get they want to introduce a whole bunch of people. But at the same time, I remember watching an episode live of ECW on Sci-Fi in like 2008, and like they had 3 matches on that show. One was an 8-man tag because it was promoting the Unforgiven Championship Scramble match, and then the other 2 matches were 2 guys who the crowd had no idea who they were.
Yep.
In an hour show, there's one match where we knew who anybody was, and you're like, it was really, of all the WWE shows I've been to, watching the ECW show was like, what is this?
Right.
Yeah. You have the ECW letters on this. This is not ECW, and we're watching talent we've never seen before. Did we walk into a tryout camp? Like, what the hell just happened? It was very weird. Very weird. And that tag match last night was very much that. It's like, who are these 4 kids? Like, who are these guys?
Yeah, they really need to do. I don't know what's wrong with like building people up with vignettes. Like, why don't they do that anymore? If somebody's coming to the roster and they're gonna be a big deal, let them be a big deal. Like, I guess I don't know. I don't run a company, but it's like I'd like to have at least an idea of who, like, why this person is important. Why is somebody who's never wrestled a match before on TV in the NXT Championship match? Right. It's just mind-boggling. It makes no sense. Like I know they had like a segment to kind of explain it, but it didn't really explain it. You know what I mean?
And then you have the vignette you're talking about with this Tony D'Angelo guy. It's like, how many times are we going to do the big Vito again before it's okay, we get it. He's from New York and he's Italian. Okay, cool. Stereotypes in 2021. Neato idea. No.
See, if they wanted to do like a mafia-like gimmick, they need to go with the gimmick I have in mind. But know, I'm not going to.
No.
Goose Mafia, baby.
That's intellectual property. Damn it! You hang on to that shit and run with it.
I actually don't think I own that, or somebody else does in like
you should.
Minnesota. Of course, people just steal my logos anyway, so that's what it is. All right, that pretty much covers NXT. It was only an hour show, so that pretty much covers it. Weird state laws we're going to hit up. Oh, it's 2 hours. I forget it's 2 hours. My poker night is Tuesday, so I miss a lot of NXT.
Yeah, Aaron made a good point last night. It was a 2-hour show, but it flowed very well. It did not feel like 2. The fact that he went on when he did, and I was like, wow, we're actually done with everything before 10 o'clock. Like, oh damn, that's awesome. Like, that was great. So that was really good. But before you move on to weird laws, I see the graphic in the room. I want to bring it up because I didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday very much. How about Big E, man? Like, I am so happy for Big E, and Craig's reaction is just tremendous. I love that. I love that the reaction video is getting such a huge number of hits and views. That's great. I love that. So happy for E.
I am too. Yeah,
I am too. I mean, clearly I am. I mean, that's my picture.
He's gonna say. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I do want to take a pause. Put
Yeah.
the graphic down. I'm trying to do
Sorry.
something, Jeff.
Sorry.
Quit producing my show. At least for a second, because
Okay, fine.
ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ourselves a wheel spin.
Oh, baby.
So
Here we go.
So I want to thank Self-Willed Soul for donating $5. And he says, I've been a fan of yours since your first appearance on No DQ WTC. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That's 4 years ago. Here's to all your future success and all that you do. I'm aware, Jeff. I'm trying to read this. It was a 1 point loss. Question: do you think you will ever do a tag team WTC type show? The tag team idea has been discussed.
Yes.
I haven't. I mean, Quizlemania just did a tag team version tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know as far as trivia how that would work. It might work better under the Jack of all trades guys, but I don't know. I would really have to think about how that would work as far as the trivia side of it, like whether one member of a team gets to answer or they get to tag out, or how that would work, or you switch up who answers the question, or whatever the case may be. But
there's a lot of logistics there that we need to work out if we ever do something like that.
Yeah, let me get through the trivia tournament first. I still need to find people for that. Like I said, I did fill a couple more spots today. It's starting to round out, but still a lot to go. All right. So with that said, here is your spin. Let's see what you get. Watch it come up with the thing I just put on there.
All right.
Nope, it's gonna be an entrance. It looks like. Yeah, it's an entrance.
Oh, almost dance break. Almost
Dance break. All right. So if you're in the chat, let me know what entrance you want me to do.
I'll tell you what. I saw a couple of Big G's wedding. I wouldn't mind being a part of if you guys redid one of the ones on the wedding video. So for what it's worth, if you saw that video, yeah.
Oh my! I had no idea that my best man was gonna do the whole CM Punk and Judas thing. I had no idea.
That was great.
That was a lot of fun. I was kind of like just told about it like right before it happened. So it was
because I kept on seeing him like because I was on the dance floor and he kept on going up to the DJ. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then in the back of my head, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do something. He's gonna do something. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out on NoDQ.com's YouTube page. Yeah, I think it's got like 1.3K views already, so it's getting up there.
So the request for entrance is Triple H. So I feel like Alexa, make Man Cave green.
You got the water too.
Oh, I got the water too.
Look at that. Look at that.
I even give the lighting because that's how that works. All right, let me get the talk amongst yourselves while I set this up. That's
right. So while Greg is setting that up, I did want to point out, put something out on Twitter. I mentioned this on, I think, Monday. This weekend, they're taping a Knockouts Knockdown matches for a pay-per-view in tribute to Daphne. And they announced the announce team. They announced it, guys. They presented the announce team on Twitter a few minutes ago. It's going to be Melissa Santos as the ring announcer, and at the desk will be Veda Scott and Mickie James, which is going to be awesome to have. I mean, Veda's a great voice; she'll do great play-by-play, and Mickey's such a mind for the business. She'll be a great analyst. It's going to be awesome to hear that.
Veda Scott had like an intense indie feud with Gregory Iron. Like if you're not familiar with that stuff was crazy. So
yeah, that's some stuff y'all need to deep dive like right now, like for real. Like that's tremendous.
I am going to full screen myself, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this going. So here we go.
I love you're doing a Triple H and just wearing Britt's shirt. That's just ice on the cake,
right? I wish this was in a water bottle. It'd be more effective.
Right.
Gotta skip it a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Beautiful. Well,
now, everything in my room is wet.
That's
like
what
I
she
said.
I'm sorry. What happened?
Like I said at the wedding, Jeff, you weren't there, but I am calling Greg the man of 1,004 entrances.
Heck, absolutely. Always has been. Somewhere in the back of that young mind of his, Dylan channeled Greg on that video we did on the Casa channel of him doing entrances, because like he hit him so point. Awesome. Love it. I will say this about the entrance and stuff, because I love that. I loved when he and Stephanie teamed up. I think it was the match with Kurt and Ronda.
Yeah.
Stephanie's the only other person I've seen that didn't look like an awkward schmuck doing the water spit. Like,
well, you figure she's watched her husband do it for how many years? Like,
right,
you figure she had it down.
Thing is, we've all watched him do it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we all look like a bunch of dipshits doing it. But Stephanie, just like, when Stephanie gets into that mode of hers, and we all gush over Stephanie, love Stephanie. When she gets into that evil boss self of hers, she gets intense, and it's like when she does that thing, it's like, yeah, she's gonna rip shit up here in a minute. I love it. I love her. It's great. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think enough credit is given to Stephanie as a performer, because especially after like her first year or so, it was kind of tough. Like, she really developed as a character, and I think she was at her peak like during the Authority time period. So
I was gonna say, if any other era of Stephanie had been women's champion than when she was the women's champion, I'd have bought it. As like, she is in tremendous shape to this day. She could go out there, throw on one of those ridiculous, spandex suits of hers and go out there and, kick everybody's ass in that division. God bless her for it,
Right.
I still say she gave Brie Bella her best match.
Yeah.
I was going to say that match with Brie at SummerSlam is way overlooked and way under. Oh, it was the stupid thing with Nikki. It's like, yeah. And the heel turn went nowhere, obviously, because they got back together at Survivor Series. So whatever. But that match, it was definitely Brie's best singles match that I saw her in. And the fact that it was Stephanie speaks volumes of how dedicated Stephanie can get when she wants to. And she always does.
Right.
And you figure a match that Stephanie was in at WrestleMania was WrestleMania's best match, 34, the one you just talked about with Ronda and Kurt, which was Ronda Rousey's wrestling debut.
Right.
And Kurt Angle, who was not the Kurt Angle of like 2005, 2006.
No.
I was going to say, when Kurt Angle is the weak link of a tag team match, that's who the other three are, like Jiminy Christmas.
All right, we are going to, unless there are other donations, which I don't see any,
anyway.
We are going to hit some weird state laws. We're going to do them real quick because I know there are a couple questions in the chat. So we're going to hit those real quick. Here's some weird Arizona laws. First of all, hunting camels is prohibited.
There's camels in Arizona? Okay.
I guess so.
There's not much more to shoot out there anyway. So, yeah.
Any misdemeanor committed while wearing a red mask is considered a felony. I feel like, especially in Arizona, that could be problematic.
How many sports teams are red centric? Seriously.
In Arizona, I mean, you got the Cardinals. You got a couple Arizona college teams that wear red. I don't think the Diamondbacks.
D-backs have red in them, so Yeah. The D-backs have red in the uniform now.
Phoenix Suns, I think, are orange. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
There is a possible 25 years in prison for cutting down a cactus.
Wow. Well, I mean, the cactus does have nutrients in it and stuff like that, and aloe. So
25 years, though.
I mean,
you could kill somebody and spend less time in jail.
Right. Bobby Heenan quote.
Yeah. Donkeys cannot sleep in bathtubs.
Okay, this is one of those where you go, how many times did it happen before legislature went, okay, we got to put the
and is this up for interpretation? Like, does this include Democrats?
Yes. Donkey, you can't sleep in the bathtub tonight.
That's it. Jesus.
A class 2 misdemeanor occurs if one places a mark upon a flag, which is, quote, likely to provoke physical retaliation. Well, that's a long way to go to say, hey, don't mark flags.
Right.
Yeah, because it is illegal federally to doctor up Old Glory. So I'm totally okay with not being okay to doctor up flags at all. I'm all right with that.
Right.
It is illegal to manufacture imitation cocaine.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go for it, make the real stuff. Don't be a pussy. Come on.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But the imitation stuff, we got to cut back on that.
Well, because
those coke dealers are losing their minds, and they're losing their shirts over this deal.
If you're making false cocaine, you don't know what's going up your nose, darn. You have to make sure you're messing your mind up completely with the good stuff.
Right.
I guess. This is not a problem I ever have to worry about. You may not have more than 2 dildos in a house.
Honey, we can't.
People I know that are
watching the show. Shout that to Colleen, Jeff.
We can't move to Arizona.
Oh, jeez. Good night, everybody.
Wow. That's it. We're done. That's it.
Welcome back, Big G. Holy crap.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen.
Does she watch this?
No,
you might have a Britney Spears length marriage if you
hold on. There she is.
Hi, Colleen. Hi.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
The views of people who appear on that. Okay.
I didn't even realize she was out here in the living room.
Hey, I'll tell you what, brother. Now that you're married, she's always around. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving on as fastly as I can. In Globe, Arizona, cards may not be played in the street with a Native American.
Okay.
Who plays cards in the street anyway?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to play with a Native American, play in the casino where it belongs, damn it.
Right. They're right down the road.
Jeez.
I don't think that one was any better.
Yeah, you're Big G, not rated R, Jeff. Come on.
Well, there goes my monetization. In Hayden, Arizona.
We're good for the week now.
My goodness. In Hayden, Arizona, if you bother the cottontails or bullfrogs, you will be fined.
As you should be. Leave the poor rabbits and the amphibians alone. Put the body back in the box. Anyway, good.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not familiar with the town. In Maricopa, Arizona.
Sounds right.
No more than 6 girls may live in any house. Does that constitute a brothel? Like, what does that do?
Okay, Greg, why are you arming Big G with words? Why are you doing that? Why is that happening?
Hey, listen, people discuss these laws. Elected officials sit down.
Okay.
Our tax dollars go to hold on. Our tax dollars go to work, and they sit down and they actually put pen to paper and sign off on it.
Okay,
so, yell at me.
Two things. First of all, we just spent $276 million to do jack crap yesterday in this state. Let me put that out there for the taxpayers. Number two, all you said was you can't have more than 6 girls in one house. You said the B word. You said brothel, which he's already up on it as it is. Don't get him wound up. He's just freshly married. He hears the word brothel. He's like, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. Dude, terrible. You're an enabler, Greg. You're an enabler, I'd say.
In Mojave, Arizona,
oh Lord,
a decree declares that anyone caught stealing soap must wash himself with it until it is all used up.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's the point of the soap. What are you
soap if not to wash yourself? You're gonna make the fake cocaine with it? Like, what are you doing with that shit?
Hey, you stole that soap. Now you have to use it.
Okay.
I'm gonna rob this bank. I'm gonna steal all this money. Is your punishment that I have to use it? Okay.
Bye.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is the last episode.
I hate being forced to use the things that I took.
Yeah.
Oh,
so inconvenient.
Can I go drive it now?
I don't know.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have a culinary.
These weird state laws just get better again every week. I'm so glad we brought this back.
We're only 3 in the reboot. We still have 47 states to go.
Plus Puerto Rico, plus DC. So there you go.
I don't know if are they up here? I'll look later. Anyway. 2 more.
Okay.
In Prescott, Arizona, no one is permitted to ride their horse up the stairs of the county courthouse.
Okay.
That seems inconvenient for the horse. I mean, the steps.
Yeah, right. It's like abuse to the horse. You're like, mush, get up there, horse.
And last one, in Tombstone, Arizona, it is illegal for men and women over the age of 18. They could just say people. It is illegal for people over the age of 18 to have less than one missing tooth visible when smiling.
Well, okay, that can be interpreted differently. Well, no, hang on. He said men and women. What if it's a trans person or if it's a hermaphrodite? Then they're okay to have a tooth missing. It's all right.
Hold on. I have to read this again. It is illegal to have less than one missing tooth visible. Less than one. What?
So, all right. So here's what we've learned today in the Arizona State Laws Department. They waste as much time in their legislature as we did waste money yesterday on that recall. There we go. Moving right along. Anyway,
it's California politics. I'm not surprised.
No, neither am I. It's just like
here's my politics rant of the year. Okay, right. Because I don't do this unless it's like election year. Yeah. If you have a problem, if your state's in a bunch of crap, why would you keep the people in office who did this crap? That's all I'm saying.
Right.
$256 million to do absolutely nothing.
That's the most California thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Which explains why your state's the way it is. I still don't get so basically, if you have a missing tooth when you're smiling, you have to show it. That's basically what this law says.
Which is very much everything Arizona is. So let's just leave it. Yeah. Wow. Anyway. All
right. That's that. We will crank through the comments for the Q&A real quick. Again, unless there are any additional donations, we will hit the donations regardless.
Right.
Let's go with Mr. Yuck's comment. Whom of the first year of AEW employees, if any, do you think will make the jump to WWE whenever their contracts run out? Also, my home team Packers are going to be the bottom this year. The Packers did not look good against the Saints. We'll see if they rebound. The Saints just may be an incredibly tough team. But Aaron Rodgers may also be phoning it in this season. We'll find out. Of the first year of AEW employees, who do I think will make the jump whenever the contracts run out? That's a tough call because you figured they were AEW from the beginning, but somebody is going to have to at some point.
It's definitely not going to be Cody or the Bucks. Say that right now.
I would say MJF.
I'd say Jericho. Honestly, that might be the easiest to.
Yeah.
Well, if he ever gets that Hall of Fame call, then I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jericho will go back to WWE at some point. I'm sure he's not going to be banned forever. Like he and Vince are still on good terms. Like of anybody that's there currently right now from the first year, Jericho. Let's see.
Here we go. Here's a good one.
Okay. If we could change the result of one WrestleMania main event, what would it be?
I don't know about the results. I would change the stipulation of Orton Triple H from 2 to 9. No holds barred. Because they pigeonholed them into a crap match by making it a regular match.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Just terrible. It was bad booking there. As far as the result, honest to God, this is going to sound sacrilegious coming from me. WrestleMania 9. Like no hope.
Should have ended with Yoko as champ.
Yep. Yep. And have him still run that whole year.
Yeah.
I would say WrestleMania 8 just because the main event of WrestleMania ended in a freaking disqualification. I don't care that Hogan won, but like he was teasing that it was going to be his last match for the WWF. And then his last match ends in a freaking disqualification.
And a botched disqualification at that.
Yeah, because Papa Shango took his good sweet time getting out there.
I was going to say they mistimed Godfather's cue. I was like, oh, geez, here we go. Terrible. All right, here's a good one. What is a Smurf?
I'm a blue Smurf who's going to get high on some shrooms.
Okay, we need to start rating Big G before we put him on camera again. Good grief, he's been turned.
He's been watching too much Robot Chicken or something.
You know what? It's been
world warped his brain.
It's been over a month since I've been on video, and I don't know. It's just I feel more. I've come out of my shell.
The Mask Mafia got him, Greg.
Question for the three of you. Rank your top 5 contenders for Big E in the WWE Championship. Lashley is going to get a rematch.
McIntyre.
I don't want to say Drew because Drew may go to SmackDown.
True.
So I would say Lashley. It's very hard like a month before the draft because one or multiple of them may not even be on the show anymore.
I will say this. This is something I've wanted to see since they first started talking about, they got to break up. I want to see Big E defend against Kofi Kingston.
I don't want to see that yet. Like, I know the New Day has been a thing since 2014.
Right.
And Big G had to go, so it's okay. Thank you, Big G, for being on the show.
We appreciate it.
I don't want to see the New Day. I wanted to see Big E's crowning moment be winning the Rumble and then beating whoever at WrestleMania. That's where I wanted to see his crowning moment. So that's kind of screwed because I wanted to see the New Day be the final 3 in the Rumble.
Right.
I'm going to throw out Bobby Lashley. I'm going to throw out Corbin as another one. because I feel like he's going. I feel like he's going to go to Raw. I feel like he needs to go to Raw to be like a bigger.
He needs a reboot in a hurry, for real. Yeah, he does.
Because he's getting lost in the shuffle on SmackDown. Like he needs to go to Raw.
Yeah.
Because nobody's overtaking Reigns as the top heel on SmackDown. Nobody's.
I was gonna say what I would do in the draft. I mean, he's not really part of the draft because he is who he is. I say Lesnar's a threat to Big E right now.
You'd move Lesnar to Raw?
I would, only because who is a top dominant challenger heel for E right now?
But the thing is, Lesnar's being presented as a babyface.
For now.
For now, but like, do you want to present him as a babyface and then immediately turn him heel? It makes no sense to me.
No, but I honestly don't want to see this Crown Jewel Saudi Arabia bullshit go down. I'd rather have moved to Raw and have to do something different. I know.
There you go. There you go. Goldberg. So we can get our big meaty men slapping meat match. Big E would go over, okay?
I know he would.
It's his dream match. He said so.
It's not even about him. I just don't want Bill around.
I know.
Ugh.
Anyway, Goldberg's going to go up. Goldberg's going to go over Lashley in Saudi. That's fine.
I know.
Who loses their title first? Omega, Miro, or Big E?
Realistically, it'd probably be E, but I'd rather it be Miro, honestly.
I think it's going to be Omega.
Really?
I think Omega is going to drop the title of Full Gear to Hangman.
You think actually going to bring Paige back finally?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I mean, you figure he's had time. His child was born. He's going to come back. He might come back tonight for all we know. And we're kind of running into Dynamite time, so we're going to really quickly hit one or two more.
Yeah. The next one below, we talked about this earlier in the week. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but Lashley just so trounced the two of them. It's like, why would they go back to him now just to help him? That seems silly.
Because they're not doing anything else.
Right,
I'd be fine with it.
But that's just like the worst retcon storyline ever, I think, at this point.
Yeah, like WWE never does retcon storylines.
I know.
NFL teams who started 1-0 most likely to miss the playoffs. The Bengals.
Yeah, and I hate saying that about my boys, but it's yeah.
Cincinnati's gonna miss the playoffs. Like they escaped Minnesota.
They really did. And to round us off, it's not a question, but first of all, spell my name right. Have some respect on my name, JB3. Nobody spells my damn name right. Yeah, seriously, I've been the WTC guy besides Greg for what, 3-4 years now? Yeah. And I've been on the air for 20. MEACHAM. If you take the Arizona thing down and you take the ticker down real quick, my name is on everything I do. It ain't hard to miss. All right. Come on, kid. Bring it on, JB3. We'll see you next Thursday, brother.
Yeah, we will see you next Thursday for that. We'll see you next week for the Greg Cherry Show. Check out all the stuff that we have going on. Check out the Big E reaction video that I posted.
Yes.
Check out Jack of All Trades. Check out the video I uploaded today. It's 2 hours long. Every single punishment I've ever done.
Love it.
With luck of the draw. There are a ton of them. I didn't realize how much I've done. So go check that out. It just went live today because it took like a day and a half to do all the like copyright checks, but it's like, hey, I've done those before.
And then tomorrow on my channel, and my channel for sure, we're bringing Paradise Kitty in. Finally, I've been trying to get them on the show forever, and we're going to talk about their show, The Viper Room. Looking forward to bringing the girls in. Dad's on Friday. We're back to Talk Wrestling on Monday. We be busy folk up here in the Great Cherry Brand Championship Network, so stay tuned. Much more to come, guys.
All right, and we thank you very much for joining us. Go watch Dynamite. Go watch Hangman Page maybe come back tonight. It's speculation, if nothing else. And we will see you next time on the Greg Cherry Show.